Hi everyone, it's Sally and welcome back to another fun art project. In this class today we're going to be making a Valentine card. So we're going to be adding a little chocolate heart to our card. I got these at the Dollarama and they're an assortment of flavors. One is the butter toffee and peanut butter. And one is just chocolate inside, and one is cream and cookies. So yum. Doesn't that sound good? Wouldn't you like to receive a little Valentine from your sweetie with a little chocolate inside? So look at how nicely these little chocolates are all wrapped in these pretty foils. I was so inspired by these little chocolates that I thought, oh, I must make a little Valentine project. And I thought I'd share that project with you. So let's get started. So there's a few supplies that you're going to need, and I'm going to put that on the screen here coming up. So gather up your supplies, and then we'll get started. So I folded my piece of watercolor in half. I like to use, for these little projects, Canson brand 140-pound watercolor paper. So my little folded piece is now 3.5 by 3 inches. You're going to need some green tape, and I don't think I put that in the supply list. Whoopsies. Yeah, so grab yourself some green tape, or it could just be regular white masking tape, and then you're going to cut some strips from that roll of tape, and you're just going to put them down on your watercolor paper. So don't worry if they're straight. I don't put them on there straight. And they can be jagged edge too if you want. So don't fuss with that too much, because it's the whimsical, the whimsies and imperfection that people are drawn to when they look at your projects. So you will also need a hair dryer to dry off your paint when we get to that point. So I've got my tape laid down, and now it's time to start painting with my watercolor paints. And I'm using my number 10 brush, which is a larger brush, so that I can get this done quickly. So I'm using some pink. This is actually quinacridone magenta is the technical name for it. I just use pink and some gold and some blue and a little bit of more yellow or gold. And these colors just start naturally blending together because the page is now really wet. Here I am putting some more pink on. So I do have quite a bit of water on my page, so I'm just going to take a little piece of paper towel and just dab that excess water off the top there. So your page will curl, because that's what happens when watercolor paper gets wet. So now I'm going to take my hair dryer and I'm going to dry this little piece of paper off. And what the hair dryer does too is it makes the tape come off easier, because if the tape is heated, it's easier to peel off. Sometimes I've taken the tape off and it's taken the surface of the paper off too. But if you heat it first with the hair dryer, it comes off much easier, because you don't want it to rip the other pieces of your paper. Okay, so carefully I'm going to take these little strips of paper off, and you're left with a white section that you're going to take your black permanent marker and write something to your Valentine. The marker that I'm using is a size 01 black micron Pigma pens that you can get at the art stores. I believe Michaels carries them too. So I'm just going to do the phrase, Be My Valentine. If you're unsure about the placement of your letters, you could always do them lightly in pencil first to get them in the spot where you want them, and then go over with your black pen. Sometimes I don't like the thickness of my lettering, so I'll just go over it again to make the lines a little bit thicker. Now you're going to staple the sides. Make sure you put the staples in a position where the chocolate's not going to fall out. So I used 3 staples on each side. You could probably use glue or double-sided tape, but sometimes if you're sticking something inside, that's not always the best choice because sometimes it pops open. So that's why I decided to use staples. So now what I'm going to do, just so that it's easier to open up the little envelope that the heart is in, is just make a little semicircle here and just cut it out with my little scissors. And that's going to make the little card easier to get the chocolate out of. So if you have a smaller pair of scissors, that's ideal. Or maybe you have like a circle hole punch that you could just punch it with. Now I'm just testing my little creation here to see if the heart actually fits inside. And it does, yay! Now you can go through and add some little decorative elements to your card. Maybe some little spirals, maybe some dots, maybe some smaller spirals. Have fun with this. How about maybe some, another spiral here, another spiral here. How about some stars? I like to draw dots, spirals, stars, and hearts because you really can't go wrong. Another thing that I did too was I added some Crayola marker to my lettering. That's another option. You could even color in these little shapes with your Crayola markers, or you could paint them with watercolor paints. Another spiral here, another spiral here. How about some hearts? Yay! And some more dots. So I ended up just adding some gold glitter paint to the front. I buy this usually at Walmart or the Dollarama. At Walmart, it's in the kids craft section. So maybe some of you have the decorative or metallic gel pens or stardust pens that have the built-in glitter. You could also use those on here. I'm just going to take those same colors that I painted in my background and decorate or paint my little hearts and stars. Now I'm using my Super Tip Crayola markers just to accent the lettering on my card. After your glitter glue dries, you can put your little heart inside. I can't wait to try out this Oreo cookie heart. I have lots more hearts that I can put in my card. So I'm just going to gift myself this one little heart to eat. Yummy. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Enjoy your chocolate.